First of all, if you want a comic, Comicsgate is your option. You've got, like, Jawbreakers kind of started the show off, Cyberfrog, Iron Sights, Graveyard Shift by John Malin, Lone Star by Mike Miller, and there's, Black and White by Artie Bear, and Soul Finder, and Clint. Everyone's got anything by Chuck Dixon. Everyone's in Comicsgate's got stuff out that is infinitely better than anything in the mainstream right now. And, it's been better. Like, if you're going to have to go back a few years to find stuff that competes with Comicsgate, there's nothing out there in the mainstream, but I'll get into that in a second. If you want to get hold of me, use the Discord or the private salty chat, or just send me an email, because YouTube and BitChute don't always send notifications, so a lot of that stuff just goes out into the vacuum. Okay, so comics need less diversity, inclusion, and representation. Comixology only is like when you see a whole bunch of really stupid shows on Netflix and Amazon. I think they're just there as filler, sort of like digital flair to give volume to the network. So when they sell you it at $14 a month, you just see you're scrolling past all this stuff, and you don't realize that, this is like Vagrant Queen and Star Trek Discovery and Batgirl, which will shock you with how bad they are. I couldn't even watch them to review them for a laugh. There's a guy, Thompson Unlimited, I think, on YouTube, who does Batwoman reviews. He gets paid for it. Otherwise, there's no way you'd sit through a whole episode. It's literally that bad. And if you want to go find Vagrant Queen, it is on BitChute, but you have to go to Google, search Vagrant Queen plus BitChute to search BitChute, because you can't search within BitChute because the search function is kind of crappy. You won't understand how they got funded. They're that bad. Because for a network, the reason I'm thinking they're doing this is they have to invest a lot of money into garbage before they find a pearl. Not every show is going to be Sopranos, Sex and the City, or the show about the dragons that just came out, the Targaryen, whatever. So what I think Comixology is a store that just needs filler, so you think you're getting your money's worth. Maybe if you're enjoying the old stuff, like pre-1990, I can't wrap my head around people enjoying modern SJW propaganda. Even SJWs don't seem to enjoy propaganda, but they always want you to enjoy propaganda or they want you to buy propaganda while they're sitting at home, like smoking J's and talking about how they're gonna do communism right this time. They need filler, so you get stuff like this. It's words on a page with art. So technically, yes, it's a comic, but a Honda Civic is a car, and so is a Honda Formula One. This is just meant to go on a digital bookshelf to fill space. Yes, technically someone could make a show out of it for a small network, but mostly it's filler. That's the corporate side of thing. From the artistic side, it's just alcoholism and depression. And Eric Weathers and Kyle Ritter are on YouTube too. They're like colorists and letterers, just don't get the respect. They're like bassists and drummers. So nobody grew up wanting to watch or draw this cereal box level comic. I was going to say you did 5 issues of this, then self-harm is on the horizon, but maybe just making the comic is self-harm enough. Here's the thing with SJW reviewers. They'll cover everything except how fake the diversity and feminism feels because of political correctness. But what if you just forgot about political correctness and told the truth? Very few people want to see a bunch of diversity hire purse puppies lead a story. Maybe you can find 700 insane people to read this, but they're probably addicts in a rehab who read this and think it's the DTs. Oh, and the diversity hire purse puppies are all B-cups and ugly, but to be fair, everyone in this is ugly. I think someone put a gun to the artist's head and said, draw this as fast as you can, which is fine if the story is good, if the characters draw you in. That isn't this comic. This gets made because somebody said, let's make 2 breastless, ugly chicks the leads. That will show the Chad incel Nazis, because if you don't like their comics, you're automatically a German of the 1930s, like literally everyone. Yeah, you own the Chads by not selling them a product. Congratulations, I guess. You can congratulate yourself into chapter 11. So the purse puppy problem, of course, the lead is or chapter 9? I don't remember which one's the corporate and which one's personal. The lead is a breastless POC. You picked the character with the lowest market appeal. And in terms of comics, female leads are hard to pull off. Of course, if you are into science fiction, you probably recognize some of the themes of this comic. It's from the Jack McDevitt series that had a female lead. But when he kind of pulled it off somewhat, it wasn't perfect. This comic entirely fails. And let me pursue this next part carefully. The problem with POCs in comics, because as a reader I repeatedly see them, they're all the same dream of the SGW writers of how they wished a POC would be. So all the POC characters are the same, absolutely insufferably better than everyone else around them, especially those blondes. It's just the same cliche every time. I don't think the writers see it because they don't read comics, and they really should. Like, that should be a part of your becoming a better writer, is reading what not to write. So you go, oh my god, this has been done 100 times before. It's just like, let's shave the side of her head. Okay, that's like, then you can take screenshots of literally 100 shots of that shaved head chick and like all the new Star Wars stuff. So because they're just not familiar with it, they don't know how cringe something this is. Write what you know. If you are an Englishman, then stick to an idealized version of that, at least until you become masterclass. And nobody in comics is masterclass. I think that ended in 1990. Again, maybe Chuck Dixon has got a spark of the classic writer. My point is that because of the trauma inflicted on me by so many Purse Puppy, Riri, Mary Sue's, I'm so triggered now that I can't even see a Purse Puppy without getting PTSD. Comicsgate. I'm still in Comicsgate. So Jack McDevitt wrote a book of Lost World in Space type of thing. Infinity Road, Eternity Beach. This book is playing off of that. Just go read the originals. Then go take a look at H.R. Haggard, Jules Verne, H.G. Wells, the guy who wrote Sherlock Holmes, Doyle. There is, he also wrote a Lost World book, which was very good. There is enough free science fiction, adventure, and literature available free online to never have to read any modern cancer again with a Kindle and a Gutenberg. Anything post-1990 is suspected of degeneracy and must go to the Inquisition for purification. When the reader sees a bunch of pox in a story, they know, 1, they're reading propaganda, and 2, it's going to be poorly written propaganda. Here's a Bianca test for cancer in storytelling. Take your POC character, swap her for a blonde male. Do the lines still work? Of course not. It feels stupid. Next, look at the crew who did this story. It's 4 dudes of fair countenance. Just put those guys in the story. If you're not a POC woman, then don't put her in the story because it comes across as a SGW hot load of cringe in your face. If the lead is a POC female, the odds are overwhelming that she's a Mary Sue. But even if she isn't, very few people want that. 1, because POC women buyers are like 1% of the market. 2, non-POC women don't want to buy propaganda. People want to see themselves or an idealized version in stories. People see young women in these roles, and they think, why aren't they home raising kids and making sandwiches? Because, bigot, these are flat-chested interracial lesbians. So who wants to read that? Again, you come up with the harsh reality of economics. Nobody wants to read it. So the comic also has the 2 blonde Euro characters as the bad guys who get kind of taken over by evil alien spirits and turn into pod people. That's just par for the course. If you didn't see Blonde Man bad in a comic, then I'm not sure what you'd be reading. Not a American comic for sure. SGWs treat blondes as such gods that they use them as the foil all the time, and nobody defends them because blonde people are awesome. Look at the civilizations they built. They were like gods on Earth in a time of mud huts, where if you made the POC the antagonist, Twitter would lose its freaking mind because they see them as the antagonists in real life. It's like why every gang is a blonde biker gang. Yeah, blonde men are dealing drugs in LA and Chicago. It's like you're just admitting what we all know, that they are not in those positions. Gee, another blonde home invader, another blonde terrorist. Sure, buddy. Anyway, from Columbus to Admiral Perry, Neil Armstrong, to even fictional Luke Skywalker, that is who goes across the face of the deep, across the unknown, to boldly go, hey, let's climb the mountain. Why? Because it's there. Let's go somewhere insanely dangerous where everyone else has been attacked by bears, wolves, and cannibals. Why? Why not? Oh yeah, screw it, let's go. Luke Skywalker feels somewhat believable because dudes who look like him have been reaching further than anyone else for thousands of years. There was a brutally... this scene right here is almost taken directly out of the Jack McDevitt book, which was so good. He did a series of books, like a dozen books, but I think the first one was the best one. It was really took you into some deep, dark, strange places. Not dark so much as just disconcerting places like this, like where they walked into scenes like this and they're like, okay, now we know we're somewhere very, very alien. Anyway, I guess I'll cut it short because I've been doing too many long videos for YouTube lately. Like, comment, subscribe, check me out, Odysee, chute, leave a message on coffee, and I will see you guys all next episode.